All right, everybody, we're back live here. It's the C. Allen Morning Show. It's all about beauty, fashion, entertainment. We're live here with J. Arthur Brown and Associates. Mr. Brown, we thank you so much for being our guest host today, Mr. Brown. Now, listen, there, you my guest host today, so we're going to rock this hour, okay,
Absolutely.
Mr. Brown?
We're going to do it.
All right, so, Mr. Brown, talk to us first. Let our listening audience know, where you located, how long you've been in business, and how did you become a tax man?
Okay.
A tax man. Talk
Absolutely.
to us.
I'm located at 4506 St. Barnabas Road. That's my main office. And I also have a second office at 1421 Good Hope Road, Southeast D.C. I've been in business for over 30 years and got in business kind of by accident. I graduated from college. I came to the Washington area, and I always wanted to know more about taxes, how to save, how to file taxes. And when I came to the area, H&R Block was pretty big at that point, and I tried to get a job with them. I was working in the government at the time.
Okay.
And I wanted to try and learn more about it, so couldn't get a job working with them, so I decided, a friend of mine told me, he said, why don't you open your own business? I said, I don't know how to do taxes. He said, don't worry about it. I work with H&R Block, and you open a place, you have, so at that time I had a barbershop on Good Hope Road.
Now, was you a barber? Or you just
I was a barber, but at that time, I was just doing that on the side.
Okay, very good.
So they had space in the building that I was located in, and he said, if you were to open a shop there, do taxes, I'll come and show you how to do taxes. And so I had a degree in accounting. We took a couple of taxes, but never prepared taxes other than my own self. At that time, we were doing the short form. So I decided to take him up on the offer. When I opened my office, started doing taxes, still waiting for him to come over and help me do taxes. So at that point, people were filing, it was paper filing at that point, not this elaborate electronic filing that we're going through now.
Yes.
And so I learned how to do taxes on my own. After the tax season, I went and took courses, took several courses. And over time, I became an expert on how to do taxes. One of the things I want to focus on is how do you help people save on their taxes, and how do you help people get a refund back? Majority of the time, people come in my office, they're looking for a refund. Those that are making
everybody want a refund.
Everyone
Go ahead.
want a refund.
That's right.
And those that are making good income, they want to know how to save on taxes. So I tried to concentrate on all those areas so that I would be able to give people the best advice in terms of how do you save on your taxes, how do you file your taxes, file them correctly, and pay the correct amount of tax and not cheat on your tax return.
Exactly. You definitely don't want to cheat on your tax returns. Okay, so Mr. Brown, what is the biggest mistake people make when preparing their own taxes? I tell you that Kelvin Cooper like to prepare his own taxes every year, and I said, listen, if you don't go to Mr. Brown or somebody that's an expert, what do you think the biggest mistake that people make when preparing their own taxes?
Well, a lot of people use filing their own taxes now. They use some kind of software for the most part. And I've had a lot of people come to me this past year who had made several mistakes using TurboTax. And some of the mistakes they make would be if they're filing and they're qualified for earned income credit, they are using the wrong amount of income, or the wrong types of deductions. And one of the big mistakes, I think, is a person not using the correct deduction when they're trying to itemize and putting them on the right lines. Itemized deduction at this point has come to a situation where if you don't own a home, it's almost impossible to itemize unless your income is probably above 6 figures or more. And so people a lot of times don't put the correct address down, and the software programs will help you correct a lot of the mistakes that one would make if you using the software program. But when people come to me filing the returns, preparing it manually, there are several items that you would miss. The key thing is to make sure that you have the correct address on there. You have your children's name and social security numbers correctly on there, because when IRS get it, they generally key it into their system, and if the data on there, so far as the date of birth, the correct numbers and such as social security numbers are not on there correctly, that's going to be an error. It's going to cause a problem for you, and probably IRS will be sending it back to you as a denied return.
Okay. All right. Now, so I hear people say all the time that, I need to get a house.
Right.
So Explain that to me. When people say all the time, well, I need to get a house because if I got a house, then I can get some money back. What does that mean?
Well, since we've had this real estate bubble and people used to file taxes who really make enough income to afford a house, what a lot of the time what they do is they don't report all the income that they make. And we used to be able to file and show no doc income. In other words, a person do not file their tax return. It's not verified through IRS what they make. So when they go to get a mortgage, they have no way of verifying if this person qualifies for that mortgage. When you try and get a house now, your income must be reported to the IRS because that's one of the main criteria that mortgage companies use. They go and get
Exactly.
1 or 2 years of your last tax return. So when a person working for themselves, they don't want to report all that money, pay the taxes, because to do that, you must pay quarterly.
Okay. And
at the end of the year, you coming in, say you made $40,000 or $50,000, which would be a minimal amount required to get a small unit, a condo unit, or even a detached house. If you're not showing that amount of income or more, and you come in at the end of the year and file your taxes, you have a large tax bill.
Exactly. Now, listen, this is one of the things I want all of our listeners to understand. Today, we're with J. Arthur Brown and Associates. He is our guest host. You're live here on the C. Allen Morning Show. What we're discussing is trying to get our situation straight for the new year. What I mean by our situation, we want to make sure that we do things right. We want to make sure that we're legal. We want to make sure that we're able to reap the benefits as any other human being out here in reference to paying our taxes and doing what we're supposed to do. So, Mr. Brown, my question is, now, when you say pay quarterly, how do we do that? There's one of my emailers just emailed in. She said, her situation is, how do I go about paying my taxes? Do I go to the IRS? How do I pay it? How do I set it up? Because I do want a house.
Okay. First of all, barbers, self-employed individuals come to me all the time. One of the first things I find with them is that they maintain poor records.
Okay.
So if you maintain good records, you're making, a lot of barbers come to me and say they're making at least $1,000 a week.
That's right.
Or even more. So if you're making that kind of money, not setting anything aside for taxes, you run into a problem with, going to run into a problem with Internal Revenue. So what you do, and the people that come to me now, I tell them, why don't you file your taxes and pay it quarterly? So paying your taxes quarterly means that April 15th is coming. That's one of the time the first quarter tax payment is due. If you're making $1,000 a week, get with your tax accountant, get with your person who prepare your taxes, and you want to calculate the amount of money that you would owe at the end of that quarter, based on the amount that you're making per week, per month, or to at least try to find out exactly what kind of bill are you looking at. So a person making $1,000 a week, you're looking at grossing approximately anywhere between $50,000 to $62,000 a year.
That's right.
So if you're making that kind of money, you want to try and break that up. A tax bill of that amount, just the Social Security taxes alone, is going to run you right around $5,000 or $6,000 a year. On top of that, income tax. Now, you do have expenses, so the barber should make sure they maintain all the expenses.
That's right.
Some of them are paying booth rent. Some of them may even own their own shop. So what you want to try and do is gather your income and your expenses and get with someone to determine exactly how much you should be paying at the end of that first quarter.
Gotcha. All right, we're going to go to the phone lines. We have Kanisha on the line, and I'm telling you, now Mr. Brown is being modest. What I'm telling you to do is, if you fit that situation, you need to call. You need to go to our website and get Mr. Brown's information, and we're going to give you that phone number too. You need to call today and prepare yourself to make sure that you're doing the things the right way. Kanisha, good morning. You have a question for Mr. Brown?
Yes, I do. Good morning. I was calling to find out, basically it's about setting up for taxes. If you're a booth renter, is there a way you can set up, because I know if you do personal taxes, it's more, but if you're a booth renter, is there a way you can set up your taxes to like file as a business or an incorporation that will help, or will it even be beneficial to do it that way to help save on taxes?
First of all, Kanisha, have you set up an entity by which you would file under, another such as an LLC or S corporation?
I have set up the LLC.
Okay. Then you can pay your taxes. You have one or two ways in which you can do this. I would recommend that you file taxes and pay them quarterly. What kind of records do you maintain in terms of what you make per week? Do you write?
Well, right now it just has been like bank statements and just putting things in my book, or be it right now telephone.
Well, bank statements, I'm sure all of the money that you make per week don't go directly to the bank. So what you may want to do is have some type of a log or some kind of record-keeping book to show what you make on a daily basis. Total all of that up. I'm sure you're paying booth rent. You're probably buying all of your supplies. And even sometimes there are some cases where transportation or travel might be involved. There where you go into the store to buy supplies that you use in your business. Maintain records of all of that, because you can get some travel mile deductions. And at the end, what you want to try and do is determine what is your net income. Mm-hmm. You want to pay taxes on the net income. And let's say, for example, you say, for example, you're making $1,000 a week, and you're paying perhaps $250 a week for a booth rent. The booth rent is what you can write off. Your expenses that you're paying for supplies, you think that the supplies you're using on your customers, you can write all that off. So you're really paying tax on the net. And the one important thing is that you want to try and at least put something aside for the day that you would retire.
That's right.
That's what Social Security is for. Even though a lot of people think today that it won't be available at some point in the future, but I say it's the best thing going now, so let's participate in it. You can also set some money aside in an IRA. Set that aside for yourself, because you can get a write-off for that at the end of the year. So the key thing for you is to plan. Set up some type of strategy so that you pay the minimum amount of tax due, you report all your income, and you'll put yourself in line to buy a house, to buy a house at some point in the future. So you can have something that can document what it is that you're doing.
That's right.
You can do all of this through a LLC or S corporation.
It's all about documentation. Okay, Kanisha, thank you so much. We got to go to a commercial break. All right, everyone, the number is 1-800-450-7876. If you have any tax questions, because I want to know the difference between going to Mr. Brown or HR Block or all those other kind of places. We're going to be talking about that when we come back. This is the C. Allen Morning Show with Bennett and Brown. We're live here in the nation's capital. We'll be right back. We have J. Arthur Brown and Associates. We'll be back after these messages.